I'm sorry, you were looking at the start screen while I was talking. All a part of going live and learning, I guess. So, all right. First story here I want to start off with is this Politico story that I read. Pence is leaving town and saving himself the embarrassment of having to stay around for the inauguration. So this ought to be an interesting development here. So let's see. It says Vice President Pence has the awkward but unavoidable duty of presiding over the session of Congress that will formalize Biden's Electoral College victory, a development that is likely to expose him and other Republicans to the wrath of the GOP voters who believe that President Donald Trump's false claims that he had the election stolen from him. But Pence could dodge by leaving Washington immediately for the Middle East. This may be the one and only time that Mike Pence could not fucking wait to get to the Middle East. So, as far away as he can from Donald Dum Dum. And it goes on to say that he's going to do about a week-long trip, and it's going to, this is just him getting out of embarrassment is all this is. But that's fine. He can do what he wants. He's a coward ass, and hopefully his political career is over. Excuse me. All right, so Steve Schmidt is, I think he was a part of he was one of the founders of the Lincoln Project, which the Yas Queen brunch liberals loved the Lincoln Project and praised them and all of that because they were against Donald Trump. But man, these are Republicans still. Don't ever forget that. Yeah, it's fine that they did what they did for Trump, and you can cheer them on for that, but just remember they're still Republicans. But anyway, so I guess Mr. Steve Schmidt here gets into it with Marco Rubio, told him to go fuck himself. And let me take a look here and see. It says on Wednesday night, Schmidt reacted to his Twitter feed to Florida Senator Marco Rubio's faux indignance at Joe Biden's campaign manager, calling Republican lawmakers a bunch of fuckers. Max News Today has assembled this 9-tweet thread and reprinted it as one easy-to-read op-ed for ongoing segment Steve Schmidt's Storm, and it has been edited for grammar and clarity. I'm speaking to you in a low and steady voice right now, just the way anybody would talk to an insane person. Are you okay? Are you looking past the Senate and thinking of trying to beat out Zac Efron for Bundy role in the next biopic? Are you trying to showcase sociopath for the nation? Your hypocrisy is evidence of a delusional personality that sees virtue where everyone else sees cowardice and craven dishonesty. Ooh, that bites. That hurts. You're an American Vici. You abandon every principle you once claimed fidelity toward to stand as an apologist for the most malignant and incompetent president this nation has ever had. Whew. His lethal lying and your complicit silence have killed hundreds of thousands of people. He has poisoned the country with this idiocy, racial animus, conspiracy theories, and lies. He has assaulted the rule of law, just as he has assaulted the Western alliance that protects democracy. During the last weeks, he has strangled faith and belief in the American democracy with his lies, conspiracies, and insanity, and your help. Tens of millions of Americans, to the delight of our enemies, have bought into your cancerous accusations assaulting the legitimacy of our election process, which is the crown jewel of the American constitutional republic, the oldest in the world. Each morning, you have the nerve to tweet out Bible verses while serving as a handmaid to Trump's indecency, malevolence, bullying, and cruelty. You are contemptible. Please make your crocodile tears elsewhere. Once can't help you, but wonder if the Lord looks down at your epic fraudulence and says, wow, unbelievable. I really overdid it with this one. After 4 years of madness, corruption, death, lying, and thousands of desecrations against your institutions, Lil Marco has finally roared, or perhaps squeaked, in righteous fury. His object, Jen O'Malley Dillon, for referring to, accurately, GOP senators as fuckers in Glamour magazine, as if, oh, I'm sorry, I said that wrong, as fuckers in Glamour magazine, as if Marco is a victim, it seems. He feels violated or debased. Apparently, it's like this 2020 was ruined all of a sudden. Let's reject Marco's bullshit crocodile tears and faux outrage. Sometimes, in times like these, it helps to reach for a quote from the pages of history. The words of the President of the Senate, once uttered on the floor of the August chamber, seem appropriate for the moment, and especially for Lil Marco. Go fuck yourself. And that was Steve Schmidt. Like I said, Steve Schmidt is a part of the Lincoln Project, or as a founder of the Lincoln Project, and he gave no fucks at all talking to Mr. Rubio, and I thought I should share that because that was an epic fucking takedown of Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio is such a faux ass. Just a fake coward, man. Ugh. Anyway, moving on. I wanted to point this story out. We won't spend a lot of time on this, but basically what we have here, this is the second congressional district of Iowa. And Rita Hart was the Democrat there that ran against the Republican. And it appears that she had lost by 6 votes. 6 votes. And so she has decided that she is going to fight it, much like what Donald Trump is doing. And all of the Republicans there are calling for her to not fight it, and that she's hurting democracy. It's just a big old bag of irony. It says Iowa's Republican lawmakers are calling on the U.S. House of Representatives and House Committee or on administration to reject Democrat Rita Hart's appeal of the results in the 2nd Congressional District race. Senators Chuck Grassley and Joni Ernst and Representatives-elect Ashley Henson and Randy Finstra sent a letter Tuesday to Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Committee Chair Zoe Lofgren, and a committee ranking member, Rodney Davis. The letter comprised all but one member of Iowa's incoming congressional delegation, Democratic Representative Cindy Angst. The results show Hart losing to the Republican Marionette Miller Meeks by 6 votes. It's the closest U.S. House race since 1984. In the letter, the group says Hart's appeal under the federal can't speak today. Man, I haven't had enough coffee or too much. Federal Contested Elections Act would create a dangerous precedent and should be rejected. So the Republicans are saying you should not allow the contesting of a race because, and to use their words, it could harm. It would be a dangerous precedent and should be rejected. So all the while going ahead with Donald Trump on his 60 court case, crazy Kraken, QAnon-led bullshit. But it's not okay for someone that lost by 6 votes to appeal it. Come on. Get out of here. That's some bullshit. Let's see what this story's about. All right, liberals are going nuts. North Carolina senator says he supports suspension of civil liberties. Well, of course liberals are going nuts, as should Republicans, when somebody says that we should suspend our civil liberties. Oh my God, these people. The North Carolina State Senate Bob Steinberg knew he'd got a lot of blowback after suggesting that Donald Trump could suspend civil liberties to protest an election that they both believe was stolen. And that was fine with him. All the liberals are just going nuts today, he said Wednesday. Somebody has got to stand up and risk being ridiculed, laughed, and scorned, and right now that's me. No, you're not a patriot or a hero or a brave person that's standing up for the right thing. You're a fucking whiny crybaby that lost the election. That's it. Just give up. You lost the election. Steinberg said while he was simply posting the general's comments, he might also support curtailing civil liberties. He compared it to North Carolina's restrictions to stem the spread of COVID-19. If there were reasons to do it, then civil liberties would be suspended for a short period of time, he told the Observer. But our civil liberties in North Carolina have been abridged since March. If Donald Trump invoked the executive order, if he thought that there was a foreign intervention, then yes, I support it. Steinberg, 72, said that he doesn't believe that Democrat Joe Biden won the election. Hell no, he said. There's no way he's president-elect. I think not only did President Trump win, but I think President Trump won by at least 10 million votes. I pulled that number directly out of my old ass, and I could never prove to you one single fraudulent vote. Steinberg comments on WRAL drew fire from Democratic Senate colleagues. Joe Biden will be our next president because he won fair and square and by more than 7 million votes, said Natasha Marcus of Davidson. Elected officials shouldn't be fueling baseless conspiracy theories that undermine our democratic process. Senator Steinberg's remarks are undemocratic, irresponsible, and frankly alarming. In a tweet, Democratic Senator Sam Searcy of Wake County called Steinberg's comments embarrassing and dangerous. Republicans in the NCGA should immediately denounce these remarks, and they should. This is the kind of horseshit that actually does damage democracies. This guy right here knows damn good and well Trump lost. He knows he lost. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He knows he lost, and he's doing this on purpose. This is just loyalty to Donald dumbass Trump. That's all it is. Donald Trump could tell him to come over and kill his whole family for him, and he'd probably do it because he's that entrenched into this Donald Trump cult. So these people need to be dealt with. These people need to be dealt with very harshly. And this kind of thing needs to stop. Okay, so we all had problems with Hillary Clinton losing. I hated Hillary Clinton. I held my nose and voted for her. But we all bitched and moaned because Donald Trump actually won the election. But you know what? Hillary Clinton conceded the next day. She didn't let the bullshit go on, and she didn't file lawsuits and do all this garbage. And Trump lost by way more to Biden. So these people, they need to be silenced. They just need to be completely shut up because they are harming the democracy. That is all there is to that. So anyway, moving on, we're going to go over here to Sean Hannity. And, he's always got something smart to say, right? Basically, the reason why I was looking at this story is this is an admission by Sean Hannity that Biden won. After 100 days of Biden, the media is going to miss Trump a lot. That statement, that says that Biden is going to be your president. So I'm wondering how many of Sean Hannity's base are going to leave him now. I don't know if there's still any that are hanging around or if they've all moved to Newsmax and OAN. But I just thought that was funny. So we've got McConnell now. We've got Sean Hannity now. And it's just one at a time. And like I said in the video the other day, it's just going to take time to sink in, and the dumber you are, the longer it takes. So pack a lunch. It's going to be a while. So there'll be people 4 years into Biden's presidency that are still saying he's illegitimate and that Trump won and blah, blah, blah. Hopefully by that time they will have dumped Trump and moved on to some other dumbass radical. So I'm not going to go into this because that's really all I wanted to talk about on that, was just that he's finally kind of admitted it. And I'm waiting to see the reactions to that. Twitter is let's look here. Let's look and see if there's any comments here. Yeah, not much there. But Twitter sure had some choice words about it. So they're going to start pivoting now. They know now that the right-wing base and media has pretty much, other than their crazy supporters, everyone with any sense has already accepted this loss, and they're going to start pivoting now. And it's, man, you thought you got tired of hearing Benghazi? Just wait till you get tired of hearing China, 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 because that's all you're going to hear. It's going to be China for 4 years, and just strap in. All right, one other thing here. We have a congressman cites Trump's efforts to overturn the election, announcing decision to quit the GOP. What? Is that a Republican with some integrity? No, I don't believe it. Let's see here. I bet I have to watch some bullshit ad. I knew it. It's an sound for your bullshit. The ads are getting out of control. They really are. Now I hear they're going to start putting ads on YouTube, content that's not even monetized.
Paul Mitchell of Michigan sent a letter to the chair of the Republican National Committee, fellow Michigander Ronna McDaniel, as well as to the House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, telling them that he is asking the clerk of the House to change his party identification from Republican to independent. Congressman Mitchell has also said that he will be withdrawing from his engagement and association with the Republican Party at the national and state level, though he will still endorse and help candidates with whom he shares principles. Joining us now is Congressman Mitchell of Michigan. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. You have clearly been disgusted, based on your Twitter feed for weeks, with the unfounded voter fraud claims and conspiracy theories being pushed by the president. Was the final straw last week when a majority of your colleagues, House Republicans, signed on to that baseless Texas lawsuit that would have disenfranchised all of the voters of your home state of Michigan, as well as Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Georgia?
Well, Jake, I believe that any candidate has the ability to request a recount, to go through legal processes if they think there's some basis that the vote's not reasonable or some founded conspiracy concerns or concern about fraud. But we've gone through the process, and as I saw that amicus brief, as well as the discussions over the weekend in the national media, it became clear to me that I could no longer be associated with the Republican Party, that leadership does not stand up and say, the process, the election is over. It's over today. And then I saw the president tweet out that it's not over till January 20. Somehow he's going to continue to combat this. The people have voted. As I said in my letter, I voted for Donald Trump.
This guy is being brought on national television to be lauded as a hero when all he did was admit that his president lost the election. Let that sink in. That's literally the case. We are praising somebody in the Republican Party where we have such shock that something like this would have happened, that we bring them on national television just to tell you that this man states reality and says that Donald Trump lost and that his party is a clown show and he quits the party. I mean, there should be like 50 of this guy, 100 of this guy. I mean, I just can't even believe that the bar is so low that it takes somebody like Donald Trump acting the way he's acted for 4 years to get you to dump the Republican Party. It's amazing.
I supported the administration policies 95, 96% of the time the last 2 terms. I've been active in the National State Party. But this party has to stand up for democracy first, for our Constitution first, and not political considerations, not protect a candidate, not simply for raw political power. And that's what I feel is going on, and I've had enough.
And for people who don't know, as you know, you've been with President Trump 95, 96% of the time. You voted for him in 2016, 2020. You're a member of the Conservative Republican Study Group in the House. You whipped votes for Republicans in Congress. You raised money for Republican candidates. And now you're going to be an independent because your letter, as I noticed, it CCs the clerk of the House.
Yes.
Tell us what it feels like in this moment, and how are you going to respond to critics who attack you as, I mean, you know they're going to call you a rhino, even though obviously you're a very conservative Republican.
Well, the definition of rhino has changed in the last couple of years, hasn't it, Jake? Rhino now is if you don't follow whatever the president decides is the theme of the day or the week or the month. I'm a conservative. I'm a fiscal conservative. I believe in small government. How am I going to respond? Frankly, I'm not. I'm going to stand on my principles. And yes, I will take abuse from both the far left and the far right. In my opinion, the extremes of both parties are dragging their parties and this country off a cliff.
Yeah, I don't really agree with that, as we can imagine.
Heading into retirement, you want to follow your...
So, let's just focus on his very last sentence there. He said that he thinks the far left and the far right are dragging their parties off of cliffs. That's what he said, okay? So what happens when the Democratic Party goes left? They try to give people health care, take care of the environment. What happens when the Republican Party goes right? They turn into Nazis. They turn into fascists. So there you go. Well, we're going to wrap up the chat today. It looks like my wife's calling me. I better get a hold of her. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Like I said, this is a new channel, not even a month old. Every subscription and like, I greatly appreciate. Thank you for joining me. My name is Brandon Neal, and this is the Be Progressive Show.